Schiff. Hey, Peter.
Hi.
I was very excited to talk to you because I'm a big fan of yours. I'm actually a client of yours as well. And I think it's just absolutely heroic the way you handle the mainstream media when they have you on those financial shows. And they hammer you. I mean,
Well, they like to make fun of somebody. The problem is I've been right so often that they have a hard time, although I feel I'm probably going to get ribbed a little bit now because gold prices have come down a bit, the dollar's strengthened a little bit, so they're probably going to remind me of that.
Well, you know what I read recently is that the U.S. Mint has been unable to keep up with the demand for the gold eagles. So, like, the demand was like 12,000 this time last year, and it's like gone to 60,000, something in that neighborhood. So there's something going on.
A few people must be figuring it out. But there's going to be more and more demand, not only from Americans, but from people around the world, because it's not just the Federal Reserve that's creating too much money. It's central banks all around the world. That's the problem.
Do you think it has anything to do with, say, for example, speculators that have decided that they're maybe part of the problem and they're buying something that's overvalued in a way, and so they are selling off their gold?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that the price of gold has fallen recently is because a lot of speculators are exiting their positions. There are a lot of people that trade with a lot of money, other people's money. They have a lot of leverage, and they just jump onto a trend that's in motion. They don't necessarily understand why, but they just want to make some money. And when the trend turns and the money flows the other way, they have to cover their positions very quickly. And I think you're seeing a lot of that, not only in gold, you're seeing it in oil, other commodities, you're seeing it in the foreign exchange markets. But I think the primary trends are still in place, and I think once we shake out a lot of this speculative money, I think you're going to see a big resumption of these trends and very explosive moves up in gold and other commodities, and I think the dollar is going to roll over and it's going to fall precipitously.
So the dollar is going still, you would say, nowhere but down, and gold is going nowhere but up?
Ultimately, yes. Yeah. Over the next few weeks, few months, you never know, but certainly over the next few years. Yeah, it's always hard to tell in the short run. But if you understand the fundamentals and you're not highly leveraged, it doesn't really matter what happens in the short run. If anything, you welcome these opportunities. When you see a big decline in the price of gold, you take advantage of it. Or if you
it's a buying
see,
opportunity.
Yeah, and if you're an American, if you're earning wages in the United States, you're earning dollars. If the dollar occasionally rises in value, that's a good thing, and it gives you the opportunity to get rid of those dollars and accumulate real things before the dollar collapses.
If you were a betting man, come November, who do you think is going to get it?
Well, I still think it's going to be Obama. I mean, it's his election to lose. It's not impossible for him.
He's doing a pretty good job.
Obama's got a lot of negatives, too. That's the only chance the Republicans have. I still think it's a slim chance, and obviously he went out on the limb with Sarah Palin, to try to, grasp for anything that might be able to, get him some extra support. Maybe it'll work. I still think the odds favor Obama and a Democratic sweep in the House and the Senate where they pick up additional seats, and that's a very, very scary combination to allow Obama to be able to get his agenda, whatever that agenda is. I don't think it's something that we really want to embrace. I'm very nervous about what it is.
Yeah, me too.
And that's one of the reasons that I'm as negative as I am on the dollar, and why we need to get as much of our clients' money as we can out of the U.S. before.
Yeah. So what's in the future for you? What are you working on these days? Do you have another book coming out?
I do. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I've got a book coming out in October. It's called The Little Book of Bull Moves in Bear Markets. And my first book was Crash Proof.
I loved that book.
And that book's still in the stores, and you can buy that. And, my company's been expanding. I've been opening up offices recently. We opened one up in Palm Beach, Florida, and in Los Angeles.
If they still got any money considering their real estate market.
Well, there's a lot of money down there. It's not all in real estate. But so we've been opening more offices. I recently hired a person to head up my capital markets division. We've hired 2 research analysts in the past couple of weeks. We intend to hire a few more. So we're going to be doing our own research, and we're going to have an institutional sales division. We're going to do a lot more investment banking deals. So there's lots happening at EuroPacific Capital, and we continue to add hundreds of clients a week. People are waking up, and it was interesting to come to this conference and actually hear a room full of people break into applause when somebody talks about Austrian economics or ending the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, what's that?
But I mean, there's a whole
over at the Excel Center, they have no idea what that is.
Well, no, but nobody. You would think that you would get that many people who know who Murray Rothbard is.
I mean, I have press credentials, so I'm in the press area, and I overhear reporters saying, "What's Austrian economics?" I mean, but this whole auditorium knows what it is, and they're in favor of it. So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if Ben Bernanke knew anything about it, or Alan Greenspan. We wouldn't be in this mess.
Yeah, good point. All right, well, thank you very much for talking to me.
Thanks for having me.